Hi guys, Scott Nunn here. Quick shout out goes out to Bryce 15, Doom Guy 2000, and Ric Flair fucking rules. Hi guys. Alright, excuse me. I'm here to talk to you about the One Night Stand pay-per-view. Now, I've been a WWE, WWF fan since I can remember, okay? I remember watching, like, this is a while ago, I remember watching from the Hulk Hogan to the Bret Hart to the Steve Austin to now. Like, I've watched a lot of wrestling. WCW, ECW, TNA, WWF, WWE. I watched pretty much it all. And I've tried to be general good with the pay-per-views that I sometimes would order. Like, sometimes if I found they were boring, I wouldn't bother. But I have never seen a pay-per-view that boring in my life. I'm sorry, but I found it to be completely pathetic and dumb. And I'll tell you why. Here's a little question for you guys. How many times have we seen Jeff Hardy versus Umaga? How many times have we seen Randy Orton versus Triple H? How many times have we seen Undertaker versus Edge? How many times have we seen Batista versus Shawn Michaels? I mean, just because you're adding new elements into these matches does not make them entertaining. They're past the entertaining. It's time to stop making these type of matches. I mean, for God's sakes. Here's a prime example. Here is a very good example. I'm so sick of this, it's actually going to make me puke. Randy Orton versus Triple H. How many times have we seen this match? And they think that just because they're doing a 10, I think it's a 10-fall count or whatever it's called, just because they're doing that, they actually think that it's going to be better than the last one? Come on, you're not doing it right. You know what I mean? Don't keep having the same matches over and over and over again, because they're going to get boring, which is what is going on. I mean, come on, guys. You could have done that match so much better. I mean, I know Orton hurt himself there, but I'm not talking about Orton hurting himself. I'm talking about maybe adding some different elements to that match. And no, I don't mean John Cena and JBL, because God forbid those two can't stay out of the title picture. You know? But we're going to push those guys aside there, because I don't like either one of them, and I personally think they both suck. Alright, so move them out of the side. They're not even in the picture. They're out there. They're gone. Bye-bye. But Orton and Triple H, they could have done it so much better. They could have added a better chemistry to that match. They could have added a better element to that match. I mean, there are lots of guys on Raw that are probably eligible for a world title match. Now, I shouldn't say his name because he did have a 2-month suspension, but I'm talking about Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy would have been exact good for that match. He would have fit in there like a glove. Ken Kennedy, Mr. Kennedy, would be a perfect addition to that match as well. For some reason, unless all four of these guys, JBL, Triple H, John Cena, and Randy Orton, unless they all get hurt at the exact same time, I don't think we're going to see any new champions for a very long time. And you know what? A lot of people are Triple H fans. Now, I like Triple H. I think he's a good wrestler. But come on. He's not... I don't think he ever is going to be a Ric Flair. I mean, Ric Flair 16-time world champion. Triple H is slowly starting to get up there with 11 times. But we all know who his father-in-law is. And don't say, oh, well, you know, he's a very good worker. Yeah, he's a good wrestler. But, come on, you have to admit, some of the things he's done, he's had help from Stephanie McMahon. It's completely pathetic. He either should do two things, okay? Either one, he can continue to be a wrestler, but don't hold the belt, like, all that time. Or, sorry, he's not 11 time, he's a 12 time now. Or two, stay behind the scenes and work with the talent. Which he's not doing that either. There are so many things they could have added to this pay-per-view, and they completely screwed it up. Okay, here's a prime example. Here's another good example for you guys. Why wasn't Matt Hardy defending his U.S. title there? Why wasn't Miz and Morrison defending their tag team titles there? And here's another one for you. Aside from the champions not being there defending their titles, why wasn't guys like Kennedy, MVP, Finlay, and Great Khali, and all these other great stars on the card? It was real sad, real pathetic. They should have done a lot more with the card, which they didn't do. They could have had a lot more. They didn't want to for some really weird reason. They're content with sticking with the same, like 10 people for every pay-per-view. It's gonna lose its interest, guys. Change the card. You know, I'm really hoping that they. I was expecting maybe another title match with Chris Jericho there at the card. Didn't even happen. He wasn't even at the show. It's like Spinnernet once said, Chris Jericho is now a main event jobber, unfortunately. And the Intercontinental title used to be with so much prestige. Guys like Bret Hart, Kurt Hennig, you know, Shelton Benjamin, these guys, when they held that belt, it meant that Chris Jericho doesn't deserve to have the IC title because he's not defending it. When Jeff Hardy had it, at least he defended it every once in a while. Give it to someone else. Give it to Cody Rhodes. Give it to Ken Kennedy. Ken Kennedy deserves a title. Give it to Paul Burchill. Give it back to Jeff Hardy. Give it to someone who can put honor in the Intercontinental title name. You know, and here's another little rant for you about the pay-per-view last night. The Singapore Kane match, which had Big Show, Miz, and all these other guys in there, and the winner would face Kane. After the match, you see Kane there, and he is laughing, and he's got the ECW title. Why wasn't he on the card? Why? I mean, come on. ECW World Champion right there, and he's not even on the card? That's really pathetic. WWE has got to stop with this 10-man rule that they have going on there with every, with every pay-per-view. Oh, we'll have this guy we'll have Triple H versus Orton, and this time we'll make it, we'll put the belt in the ladder and we'll bring in millions. No, you won't, because the matches are starting to suck. Same with JBL and John Cena. I bet you anything the feud's not going to end. I bet you anything JBL will come out there on Raw and say, I challenge you, John Cena, to a Texas Bull Rope match or some stupid thing. It's not, I don't figure it's going to end. And here's the really sad part. If it does end, and let's say JBL decides to go after the world title, Triple H versus JBL, I would actually like to see just those two. But John Cena's going to be there, and Vince McMahon or the new GM will come out and make a triple threat, and oh god, we have to listen to this bullshit all over again. My rating on this pay-per-view is out of 5 is a 1. WWE completely dropped the ball. Get new talent, get new rivalries, get new champions, get new contenders. The show, Raw, is starting to suck. SmackDown isn't doing any better. Okay? Make new tag teams, make new champions, make new contenders. Scott Nunn. Adios, guys. Peace.